All right, folks, here's an update from a very popular video that I did almost a year ago. This is about Ky'Andrea Cook, and she was sentenced to 20 years in prison for fostering or being an accomplice in a carjacking where a young man got shot in the gut and almost killed. And because of a a defense attorney's lie, she didn't put in a proper plea. So when they found that out, what the judge did was threw her plea out. Now, a lot of people think that she's not going to get any time, or thought that she wasn't going to get any time because the judge threw the plea out, which fairly he did because the public defender misrepresented what was. So she pleaded no contest to something that she shouldn't have done, that she shouldn't have pleaded no contest to, that she should have taken her chances with the system. So judge threw it out back in August, 5 months ago. So she was set up to have a new trial. So she had a new hearing. I think it said January 10th, which is like 3-4 days ago. So I'm going to read the story from the Daytona Beach News Journal. Teen in viral video of 20-year prison sentence pleads again to South Daytona carjacking. Now remember, a lot of people don't know that just the mere fact of a carjacking carries the minimum jail time of 15 years. And a maximum of 30 years. So a lot of people say, well, she got way too much time. Carjacking, just like murder, there's maximums and minimums. And the minimum she can get, according to the law in Florida, is 15 years. So we'll see if what they're saying will save her some time. I'll be shocked if they don't. Okay, Daytona Beach. Ky'Andrea Cook threw herself at the mercy of the court last summer on carjacking charges, only to be stunned with a 20-year prison sentence, prompting her anguished reaction, which spun into a viral video. Circuit Judge Mac Foxman on August 14th allowed Cook to withdraw her plea, eliminating the 2-decade sentence and essentially giving Cook a legal do-over. Now, 5 months later, Cook, 19, once again entering a plea before Judge Foxman to the same charges which carry up to a life sentence. Cook pleaded no contest to carjacking with a deadly weapon punishable by up to life in prison. Principal to attempted carjacking with a deadly weapon is punishable by up to 30 years in prison, and principal to aggravated battery with a deadly weapon punishable by up to 15 years in prison. Get that? Get it? Got it? Good. Do you understand the concept of an open plea? Foxman asked her. Yes, sir, Cook said softly as she stood before the judge. That means there is not a deal with the state. You take your chances with me. You understand? Foxman said. Yes, sir, Cook said. That didn't turn out so well for Cook last time. Her former attorney assistant Public Defender Frank Scott had assured her family she would not go to prison. Foxman gave her 20 years. That drew cries of agony from Cook's mother, who had to be helped from the courtroom. Cook's face twisted in agony as she broke down in tears and also had to be carried out by bailiffs. This time, though, Cook was not sentenced on Wednesday during the hearing at St. James Foxman Justice Center in Daytona Beach. She will be sentenced after a pre-sentence investigation by the Department of Corrections, which takes about 30 days. So we'll know in 30 days what she got. Foxman told her several times to cooperate with the Department of Corrections pre-sentence investigation, which is an extensive background check of Cook. There was no pre-sentence investigation at her first sentencing. I've never seen them do anything but help, so the point being is to take the time to help you, Foxman said. Foxman also repeated the worst case scenario for her. Could be a life sentence. Do you understand that? Foxman said. Yes, sir. Cook, who has no prior criminal record and was a former student at Mainland High School, told the judge she was now working on getting her GED and living in Crescent City. The judge asked her if what she planned to do once she got her GED. She said, "Get a job." Her attorney, Stephen Robinson, declined comment after the hearing when asked why she would enter another open plea to the same charges before the same judge after being sentenced to 2 decades the first time. The shooter in the attempted carjacking, which seriously injured Palm Coast man, is still on the loose. South Daytona Beach Chief Ron Wright said last week that he believes Cook has been more cooperative with the investigators since the initial sentencing. See, her being slick and telling those people that she didn't know the dude that she was probably having sex with was in on it and who he was, almost got her 20 years. Oh, well, got her 20. She's probably still going to have to do it. She might not get 20, but she's still going to have to do at least 15, I do believe. I think that it's better than it was. She's cooperating much more effectively than with investigators now, Wright said in a phone interview. Foxman allowed Cook to withdraw her no contest plea after she testified that her former attorney, Scott, told her that if she entered a no contest plea, she would get no prison time. Then that was a lie. Scott also left a voicemail for Cook's mother saying that her daughter would not go to prison. And obviously, she's not going to prison. She has no prior record. So, she's looking at probation or community control, Scott said in the voicemail. Foxman said that he allowed Cook to withdraw her plea not because he thought there was a problem with the 20-year sentence, but rather he believed there had been a miscommunication between Cook and Scott. Cook was arrested and accused of taking part in a setup to rob a pair of men on March 22nd. Perry Nita, 27, and Emmanuel Manny Purcell, 17, drove to meet Cook at her job at Long John Silver's, 2156 Ridgewood Avenue in Daytona. Nita had met Cook on a dating app called Meet Me and expected to have sex with her. Purcell expected to sell her some pot. But moments after the meeting, and as the pot was weighed, a masked gunman jumped into the pickup seconds after Cook. Purcell leaned over and pushed the gunman, who fired twice, one bullet boring through Purcell's intestines and lodging in his pelvis, where doctors decided to leave it, saying it would be too dangerous to extract. Assistant State Attorney Ashley Terwilliger said at an August hearing that the day after Purcell was shot, Cook and four... Listen to this. Y'all are sitting up here defending this chick. I know you guys mean well. I know you chicks out there mean well. Y'all defending this woman. Listen to this. Listen to the next thing. Assistant State Attorney Ashley Terwilliger said at an August hearing that the day after Purcell was shot, Cook and 4 men carjacked another victim. Terwilliger described Cook as the mastermind behind these crimes. Foxman gave Cook some final words of advice. "I need you to stay out of trouble with the law and, again, be in touch with attorneys. They will give you the rest of the advice." Get that. See this? See this? Everybody's saying she's a good girl. She shouldn't have gotten no time. That it was a mistake and that was way too much time because white people do it too. That pisses me off. That pisses me off. Just because she's a black girl or a black woman, she can do any heinous crime, and because the white system of justice decided to convict her, you guys want to rush in like, she shouldn't have gone to jail. Now, this is a black guy in Florida or black man anywhere that did exactly the same thing. You guys would have no problem with that dude getting 20 years. None. Absolutely none. There's been cats that had been in the car sitting, didn't know what was going on, and one of their buddies run in or 2 of their buddies run in and rob a liquor store or rob whatever. They bust the car and everybody goes down and everybody goes to prison. I've seen that more times than not. And cats get way more time than this, and they don't get any breaks for not participating. And just because she's a black woman, you guys want to go all soft. You see what I'm saying? I'll read it again. Assistant State Attorney Ashley Terwilliger said at an August hearing that the day after, get that, the day after the day carjacked these dudes and Purcell was shot, she did it again to another guy. She did a string of these things. It wasn't when she shot this dude, this wasn't the first time she did this stuff. She had done this 4 or 5 times. And she should get 20 years. She should get 30. She should get to 30. And she didn't just do it once. She shouldn't get out till she's 50. She wasn't stupid. She wasn't doing it just because she so-called raped by a boy. Come on. This kind of stuff makes me mad. Anyway, this is short and sweet. That's all I got. I could rant and rave and cry and all that kind of stuff. And her mother knew all this stuff. That's what gets me. Her mother knew all this stuff. Her mama knew all this stuff. You don't know how many times I've seen mamas defend their kids and know their kids do all kind of dirt, hurt all kind of people, rob all that kind of people, terrorize the whole neighborhood. But at the end of the day, that's my baby, and I don't want my baby to go to prison. Black people, black people, black people. I swear to God. I swear to God. Anyway, man, let me get off here before I burst into a rant. Because, it's just reading this stuff again sets my teeth on edge. Gets the hackles in the back of my neck up, man. Because if it was my kid that got shot in the gut and they let that heifer out, trust and believe she wouldn't be walking the street, along with the nigga that helped shoot him. She wouldn't be walking the street. I say let her go. It was my kid. Let her go. She wouldn't be walking the street. I swear to God she wouldn't. Anyway, that's all I got. It's BGS out.